Hey guys, this is Jim Garrity, president of JimFlix, the backup movie library for Netflix. And you are listening to the RadioShorty podcast with my son and hero, DJ Hi Kevin.
You want to just like start it like this? Just us, the three boys,
how we do it
on the podcast. By the way, Kevin, before we get to our guests, just real quick, I want to say that we had talked about voice guys for the intro, but I want to scrap all that. I want to keep your dad. Like your dad. Congratulations to Mr. Garrity. He's now our voice guy because I love that. It's awesome that he intros us.
It's not bad, right?
Thank you, Mr. Garrity, for that intro. We welcome you to, of course, the Radio Shorty podcast with DJ Hi Kevin. I'm excited, ecstatic to have this kid on the show. We've kind of talked back and forth on Instagram for quite a while. Wanting to have you on. You are Kevin and I were talking about it yesterday. You are basically like, if you add up all the views on TikTok and Instagram from Nick Spinelli, you were probably the most viewed videographer in the country or world. Like it. I mean, does that kind of resonate? Does that understand like where that kind of comes from?
I do see where that comes from, but I feel like a lot of people like that term videographer, like if you think about a videographer, like I'm not doing any cinematic, like I don't even have a gimbal, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like there's so many more things that for videographers, even when I see at weddings and I see a videographer like on a camcorder from like what people used to record soccer games like 5 years ago. Like it's like you're not really a videographer, so I feel like that's not the correct term. But
okay,
I am starting to realize
creator,
that. Right?
Content capture.
I'll take that. I'm about to take that.
Are you gonna like introduce him, or that's just what you're just gonna ask him a question, Shorty?
No, we're not gonna let anybody know what his name is. We're gonna put just like in the title, like guess who this is.
Oh my god!
And if you guess who this is, you get 15% off at.
Oh my god, dude, it's 10% off. It's fucking 10. I'm so dumb. I've been saying, I'm sorry, Santi, to like totally steer your thunder. First off, Santi's here.
There you go.
Just, a member of the SCE team under the Nick Spinelli umbrella, the behind the scenes guy to all the success that Nick has, because frankly, he can't do anything by himself. He's just got to have somebody that does a lot of the work. You're so humble, bro. You just sit there and you like shake your head. What's up, bro?
What I think what a lot of people don't realize is like all I said was like let me turn the camera on, but like Nick is truly like he's been I've been friends with him 7 years now. Nick's been putting that work in. Like it's not like a fluke or anything like that. It's nothing like that I told him or it's like I just said let me just turn the camera on, and he deserves it. I mean he grinds harder than me.
It's incredible to see, and I don't want to make this a Nick Spinelli episode because you're here. But so like you've known him, you said, for 7 years. So just in that time, he has changed so much. And having known him for a little bit longer than you, just like seeing like what a clown we were in college and stuff like that. And now seeing this, like buttoned up guy, it's crazy. You've been throughout the entire transition. So just to kind of take us through your story. If you want to insert Nick at some point, then that's cool too. But tell us about, like, I guess let's just start with your DJ journey, like how you got into it all, man.
DJ journey. I really like in high school. I was like more into like I was trying to be a rapper. That's what I was trying to be. But
wait, do we have any tracks of you rapping like somewhere in the universe?
There is my favorite track of all time. It's on my SoundCloud. Came out 2014. It's called Toast. Shouts to Frankie. He's a feature on there. But
don't think Kevin won't put it in post.
Looking to write it down somewhere right now.
That's why I actually am proud of my verse on there. That's why I left it public.
Yeah.
I'm not too bad about it.
Okay.
I'm not too mad about it.
Toast, let's take it toast. I got liquor we can pour up. Go ahead, just drink some more. Let's take it toast. Let's take it toast. If you at this party sober, then you better drink some more. Let's take it toast.
Mix that rum up with the coke. Pour that Henny down your throat until you see kaleidoscopes. If the asphalt, I'm a scope. Hop behind it, watch it throw. Watch it drop it to the flow. Ain't think you was that flexible. Just got past some medical. My white boy got me for the low. I hate them parties full of bros. You better watch that ratio. Mix that.
But yeah, so I started going to house parties and stuff like that. The house party guy at the time from my high school, we were in the same graduating class, DJ Flygerian. If you guys want to check him out, he's up more north now. He's like disgusting in terms of song selection and things like that. So rapping wasn't really for me because like I ended up not really liking to be the center of attention. So DJing was like that perfect thing where I was still connected to music, but you know I could be behind the turntables. Like there was like a little barrier in between like the crowd or whatever. So, got through high school. Didn't want to go to college, so like the college party route wasn't going to be a thing for me. Like I knew that quickly, but I knew I still wanted to DJ. So my mom ended up knowing somebody that worked for the company that Nick ended up working for. And the first time I met Nick was at a meeting that he was teaching of a how to mix seminar at the company. And I almost walked out because I'm like, how is this a DJ company? You guys don't know how to mix. Like I literally was pissed. And, you know, I ended up leaving that meeting. I was like, oh, fuck, I don't know what to do. Like, there's no other route in my city right now. Like, there's like Vineland, like, there's not a lot of bars that really accept DJs. Like, it's kind of like people are like afraid of like shit turning too hood. Also, my bad if I can't cuss.
No, you go to town, bro.
Have you seen the show? Come on.
Come on, it's a DJ podcast. It's a dick joke podcast.
That's true.
See, everybody thought DJ stood for disc jockey, but it's really dick joke.
Dick
So
jokes.
just let everybody know what's going on.
All right, I'm trying to think. Anyway, so
Vineland,
I
Vineland's
almost gave
not
up
very
on
receptive to DJs, right? So you're
Right,
trying to
right.
find a route that you can continue to DJ, and you feel like you've been clowned by a DJ company because some people are just basically screaming into a microphone while playing Sweet Caroline, right?
exactly. Wow, were you there?
Yeah,
You might have been.
might have been.
Kevin was there.
So I ended up giving it a shot, and they made me. I worked as an assistant. The first person I worked as an assistant with, I don't know if you guys know. Well, Kevin, you know, it was Seth.
Mm-hmm.
Was the first time I ever went to a wedding, and did not have fun. That was not cool for me at all. It was
With
just like same
SCE.
thing that he was saying. Say that again.
With Seth with SC, so you went
No,
with him.
it was, but it was before that. So we were BME.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another
BME,
company.
BME,
Okay,
yeah.
got you.
My bad. I got to connect. We can try to connect all the
You
dots.
good. Perfect.
You good?
I'm like a terrible storyteller.
Going fine,
But
bro.
what the fuck? Oh yeah, so first wedding I was like, fuck, this is really not for me. But I didn't want to go to college. So I was like, fuck, let me stick it out. And ended up working with Nick, and like Nick was like actually mixing songs. Like he wasn't playing third verses and like mixing outros and the intros. And I was like, oh, this is like I could kind of like relate with this a little bit. And then I ended up going to Bob at the company, being like, yo, like, can I just work with him? Like these other guys, like I'm gonna get in an argument with them. Like I actually did get into an argument with another DJ because he like, oh my god, I'm not gonna say no names, but there was this one wedding, it was like close to me or whatever. He's like trying to show me the ropes. He's like, you know, this is how you do this. This is how you do this. This is how you mix this. This da 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 da. And I'm like, all right. So like, but I haven't seen. We're not at the reception yet. He's just telling me like what he does before, like during cocktail hour. He's like telling me what he's gonna do, like his game plan. So I'm like, all right, let's see how this goes. He starts playing, and he's just like sitting there, like he had a SD or whatever, and he's just sitting there. Every single mix, he's sitting there for like 3 verses, just hitting the cue button. And I'm like, you just missed your outro like twice. And he's just hitting the cue button, and then by the time he mixes it, he's mixing it in between the third verse of Danza, if I remember correctly. And he looks back at me, he's like, yeah, man, this is how you do it, right? Like this, that, and he's like, they're going crazy. And I was like, bro, that was garbage. Like this, I was straight out of high school. I did not have no filter. It was literally what I said. Like I remember being at the meeting, and he's like, you can't tell people that you're garbage. I'm like, bro, you're garbage. I'd never want to work with you again. And then the rest of the wedding of that was just very awkward. And I ended up just working with Nick. More of the story is I just ended up working with Nick at the company because all the guys thought I was gonna just flame him. And that's how that.
Can you imagine doing a wedding and all of a sudden, the guy's like, yeah, man, yeah, this is fucking the shit. And you're like, you fucking suck. And then just walk away and go get like water. Like, leave me alone.
Literally what happened.
I will say, Santi, like at random times, you let your bluntness come out, and it's always just like so refreshing because I just start laughing. I can't help it. But there was a couple times in Atlantic City where somebody would say something and be like, yeah, no. And then I just started fucking like pissing myself. It truly is a breath of fresh air. And I do think that especially in like what a lot of people would call like the private event mobile DJ industry is just a bunch of fucking clowns. that are kind of making it. And honestly, just I don't even see myself as not being a clown because I'm a part of it, and that's the one part that sucks. But
yeah, but you're like the bozo, the clown. You're like the clown.
Okay.
We're all just like, no named clowns, and Kevin, you're bozo the clown.
I ain't
the
a named clown. Don't put that
You're
responsibility
the
on
clown.
me. Santi, you so you tell this guy to go fly a fucking kite. You start working with Nick.
He should.
And you've pretty much just been working with him ever since. Like, I'm trying to think the first time that I met you, I think was it at the Sonny's like player haters ball thing, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
So it was a little
Sorry,
private
what?
part, dude. So
It was a pin
The
party.
what?
have you seen
Can we talk
Chappelle's
more
show?
about the name of this
Yeah,
venue?
oh, no, so it was in a fire hall of the Union Hose.
Yeah,
The hose,
exactly.
bro. See?
Is this the
Union Hose?
The Union Hose?
Yeah.
Jamie, you told the story with
Yes,
Jamie.
exactly. So
Okay.
the fire hall is upstairs where they have like a banquet hall, right? Our buddy wanted to throw like Chappelle's show player haters ball themed party. So basically just
Okay.
every guy dresses up as much like a pimp as you can. And then we didn't do like the whole insult each other thing, which was a shame because that would have been really, really fun. But I think I wore like a flame jacket, like it had like fire all over it and shit like that. I met Santi. His beard was not quite as big as it is right now, but he was definitely like even at that time, you were like, "Holy shit, that's a big ass beard."
So wait, is this the same party where you left the next morning and you just fell asleep on the Ben Franklin, or is that a different?
No, that's a different.
connect-
So there's a
about that
bar underneath, and then that has the liquor license so that they can supply for the party above.
Okay.
So it's just
Okay,
like a party
okay.
hall, yeah. And
Gotcha.
Spinelli DJ'd, and if I remember, that was pretty much right at the time where he had like a bunch of stuff on SoundCloud, and he was like really starting to take off. I don't even know if he was with SCE yet. So yeah, so you guys were still at BME. How was that transition for you, Santi? Like moving from one company to another? Like, I guess, does that really even hold weight for you?
And did you move with Nick? So like it was you guys moved together, like you
We did move together, and that was a slippery slope. Like that almost been a duo that was never gonna happen because BME wasn't working out. I had just gotten a job at a hospital. I was doing housekeeping. It was like pretty much almost giving up, not giving up DJing, but it just was like, all right, I'm just gonna be a bedroom DJ. Twitch was starting to become like a thing, and I was already thinking about it even pre-pandemic. Yeah. I was like, I could still play the music that I kind of want to do. And so I kind of was like on the way of like, maybe DJing is just going to be a hobby for me. And Nick came to so I was still working with him. Like every other weekend I would have off from the hospital and I would work with Nick or whatever. And Nick was talking to me about making the jump. And I'm like, I told him, I'll still work with you, yada, yada, on those off yada, yadas. And then he ended up convincing me like, man, like you're not going to like really make any traction as a DJ unless you make the jump. Like I think a lot of DJs don't realize that either. Like if you don't make that jump, the amount of time it takes to be a good DJ, the time you have to put into your crates, the time you have to like put into even just like there's so much prep work that I feel like is like not talked about by wedding DJs of like the stuff they have to do that week leading up and things like that. So like he ended up giving me that whole spiel and ended up quitting my hospital job. And but yeah, ever since we've kind of just been every weekend.
That's what's up, dude. When you were just saying like the prep work like during the week, do you mean something specific?
Well, I mean, like for me, I don't do all the prep work because I just do cocktail and the opening set. But like I would see like what Nick would do. Like I see the paperwork. I'm like a big into numbers and like the
analytics.
The analytics. So like I like seeing like if a bride and groom is like, oh, I love Nora Jones, like I'm gonna dive in, what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna dive in and figure out what the fuck else Nora Jones.
So curate
like,
that shit,
like
bro.
I feel like,
curate that shit. Hang on.
By the way, you said, quote, I just do cocktail hour, but I mean I think you're selling yourself short there because I would say you doing cocktail hour at a wedding is the 1% of all of us that do cocktail hour where there are a lot of DJs that'll just throw a Spotify playlist on and then hit the freaking bar and be dumb, right? But you're like dedicating this hour and you're putting a lot of time and effort into it.
Well, I mean, I don't want to pat myself on the back because I think it was selfish. Because like I'd be with Nick every weekend, and it's like fuck, like I just want to DJ. So I was just trying to find a way, I guess, to like insert myself in, which like in hindsight, maybe like wasn't the best thing, but I ended up convincing him, and like he's kind of like super on board with it more than I am now. Because I'm like kind of worried. Like when it comes to cocktail hours now, like it's starting to become scary. Like cocktail hours are probably the hardest thing I've ever DJ'd. Like it's very hard to like DJ a room where it's like when people come into cocktail hour, the first thing that they're expecting to do, they're like catching up with family they haven't seen in 5 years. They let me go get this first drink. Oh shit, there's food here too. So like they're not even like really paying attention to that music until the last 15 minutes, which means I don't really have a gauge of what you like until those last 20 minutes. So like you kind of just have to take a shit sandwich for the first 40. And then it's like, and then you can get rolling.
Well, dude, because we talked about this a little bit. I think it was the first time that when we went to HQ to see Nick, you and I were like really talking about it because I was like, eventually when we get to that point, I want to get Teddy to DJ Cocktail Hour, and you were like, I don't know about that. And this was one specific instance where I was like, I appreciate your bluntness because you literally said this is the hardest thing I've ever DJ'd. And most people might see cocktail because like now I've actually live mixed 2 cocktail hours just trying to be able to just sniff what you're talking about, and it's fucking scary, dude. You have nothing to read. It's like it's basically like just imagine you're DJing to everybody facing the wall away from you. And so you think like, oh, well, no one's paying attention to me, but then you just have nothing to go off of, and that hit hard. And I'm not telling Teddy that because I want her to want to do it, and I don't want her to soak up the fears that we have of it,
Well, I hate to ruin this, but this podcast is public, so she can listen.
Listen to me. She doesn't listen to the podcast, dude. So she comes home to me every day and has to listen to me talk. She's not listening to me on the road. Fuck that.
Did not clip this as a highlight. That way she's going to see it.
Yeah, instantly.
If you don't think I'm cutting this right now, I'm putting it on social media.
Yeah, I know you just put a fucking bookmark in, didn't you?
I did. Hold on. Actually, let me mark that. There we go. We're
Perfect,
good.
perfect.
Okay, we're good.
So you were talking about like the prep work that we have, and actually, Jason Shuffstall, who's on the West Coast in Seneca, Pennsylvania. I'm not West Coast, the West Side of Pennsylvania, I should say. He's DJ P Fade to Silence, if anybody knows him. But he just put this post up on his Facebook about like the work that we have to do throughout the week that I thought kind of hit. Monday, he had a DJ meeting in Cochranton. I don't know what that means. But music prep on Monday as well. Tuesday, he was DJing a social for a neighborhood association. Wednesday, he was repairing and assessing all of his equipment for upcoming events. Thursday, hitting the organize and the prepare music for the weekend events. Friday, he actually goes to wedding rehearsals. And then Saturday, he had the wedding. And then after that, he played at a sports bar. And then Sunday to Tuesday, he said he's sleeping. So...
Bro, I just got tired listening to that.
Yeah, and that's...
I got my back got sore listening to that.
Well, see, now don't make... He's a wheelchair guy, so don't make fun of him too much, Shorty. Fucking asshole.
Are you fucking serious?
Bro, he's super fucking cool. He's actually... I've rated him on...
No. Is this like I say, are you fucking serious? You go, no, I'm just fucking kidding you.
No, he really is. Like... No, he's cool as fuck though. Like he's on Twitch. You guys should. I've rated him on Thursday nights a couple times. He's a super cool guy, and he actually
of all things I could say. I'm
gonna save this photo and I'll put it in post. But it's a guy in a wheelchair, and it says obviously not climbing the company ladder. He has that on his Facebook. So, like, I'm saying he's got a great sense of humor about the whole thing. Okay. He's a cool as fuck guy, and I'm glad that we got a chance to mention him on the podcast. That's really it.
Yeah, I'm glad I just fucked up and was like, oh, my back hurts. Well, he doesn't have one, so.
Hey, headline reads, Shorty hates anybody in wheelchairs.
Shorty hates the handicap. Gosh, I feel like a fucking asshole.
You are. So, Santi, you're doing Twitch stuff still, right?
I do want to do Twitch stuff more. I just got this opportunity at a bar locally that is gonna.
I did see that.
Is gonna.
I saw a poster. right?
Yeah. But they're gonna try to. They might let me do whatever Wednesdays live. So I'm just trying to get like full confirmation before I start blowing it up or whatever. But it might be a thing where it's every other Wednesday will be on Twitch, and then every other Wednesday will be live, like in between those.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. How do you feel about that whole journey? Are you like nervous, excited about it?
I mean, I'm excited to play. Anytime I get an opportunity to play, I'm fucking pumped.
Yeah.
It's been like to be able to play at bars is it's kind of like revitalized. Like it's just crazy. Like the funnest thing about DJing to me is like that every time I start working on crates and like I'm like, yeah, I got this crate is deep. At least like once I go to like and I'm like, fuck, there's like 15 white girls. Now I can only play pop music. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? Or the exact opposite. It's like, damn, all these guys have baggy pants. There's no girls in the bar. How do I play for just guys? You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of been fun to give me like another challenge to like go to crates and stuff like that. I already forgot the question. Sorry. What was the question?
No, you're good. I was just asking like your feelings towards going out and doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Because like but you did mention it has revitalized sort of like your excitement for DJing. It just because it's in a different way.
Exactly.
We spoke a lot about that actually last week. Just like it was pretty much just me and Shorty talking about avoiding burnout as a DJ, and that's one of the things that I kind of pushed pretty heavily. Is just like you got to challenge yourself because otherwise you kind of lose that excitement. And so like I would probably say the most excited / scared I was to DJ in a long time was when I did Penn State, the basement. And I think you've been there with Nick before, right?
Yeah, it's a dope spot. Yeah.
It's a sick spot, but also it seems like like I hadn't DJ'd for college kids in a long time. I mean, like I've done weddings for 22 and 23-year-old kids getting married for sure, and that helps out a ton. But I just had never done, what is that, 5 hours? It's like 9 to 2 of just kids.
Yeah.
And it was the first night went fucking great. The second night, just randomly, this one kid was just sitting out in the middle of the crowd, just waiting to lock eyes with me, and just kept his middle finger up until I locked eyes with him, and then he just went.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was just like, "What the fuck is going on?" I mean, like I still did okay, but it's
also
that.
Also, fuck people that do that, man. Like.
I was fucking dying laughing.
It's one of those things where like
laughing.
it's one of those things where you want to get on the mic and be like, "Yo, kid, come here." Then you do it. I'm gonna go grab a drink. Have fun. I'll see you in about 10 minutes. And then
that's so petty though.
Nah, but come on, man. These fucking kids.
Fuck them. They don't know what they don't know. That's their own fault. They'll get there someday.
Or they won't.
Or they won't, and then they can go fuck themselves. I don't know. Maybe their dad has a great business plan for them. Good on that. Yeah, so like Santi, you ever want to do rooms like that, or are you like trying to stay chill? I know, when we went out to HQ, you were talking about like how you need to get out and just bump shoulders a little bit more, and I think you've been doing that a ton, right?
Yeah, I've been trying to go to AC like right before the expo. I've been trying to go there like at least every week, specifically to HQ. I think HQ is the best club in AC right now. They're about to essentially AC is about to get a huge dump of money. And I think like AC can be the East Coast Vegas just because like it'll have everything Vegas has plus a beach, which is kind of crazy if you kind of think about it. So I believe AC is on the rise, but in terms of like rooms like the basement, like I want to do fucking anything. Like put me anywhere. Like I don't give a fuck. Like the thing about DJing for me is like what I love about DJing is to be able to play songs that people like forgot about but like know every single word to. So like my thing isn't about like, oh, I want to be the biggest hip hop DJ. Like my thing is like I want to be able to play in any room, anytime, regardless of who's in that room. And like
that's a huge aspiration, dude. Yeah, that's cool.
That's what I care about. I don't really care, and it's weird because like a lot of people, especially like at the expo, like it was weird to see like people, like I mean it's because of my content, but like they're like super hung up on the technical shit. But truthfully, like the technical shit. Like I say it all the time, it's just seasoning. Like it's just like somebody actually came up with this analogy at the expo, and I'm gonna steal it. I can't remember who it is, but they said like scratching and DJing is like riding a plane. Like you can either go first class or you can go coach. You're both gonna get to the same destination, but if you have a little scratch and you have a little turntablism, the ride is just gonna be a little different. It's gonna be a little more exclusive to you. But you're all going to fucking Dallas. You're all going to the same destination.
Damn. Okay. Well, that's your quote now, dude, because you just said it. So
Yeah. Until somebody copyrights it, it's all yours, Santi.
who copyrights quotes?
You'd be surprised, man. You know, there's some guy out there like, that's a good one. I'm going to copyright that shit.
100%.
All right. Well, bro, fucking segue of the episode right there, talking about technical stuff. Your Fader Fitness stuff.
Yeah.
Sick.
Appreciate it.
I've seen a number of people commenting on a lot of them that say, I have tried to learn this from every number of video on YouTube, and something about the way you broke it down is great. I think the one thing that I noticed about it is you always kind of start the same way. You know, you're like, I like to start at 9 o'clock, you know, and like it just, you start to feel like the comfort in what you're saying. Right. You tried to pitch this to me a while back, and I don't know if I haven't told the story on the podcast, but you were like, hey, man, I'm trying to start this Fader Fitness stuff. And I was like, that's perfect, dude, because I think I keep hurting my back from like lifting gear. And I thought you were like trying to get in the gym with me.
Literally.
And you were like, no, I don't think you get it. And I was like, no, it's good. I get it. You want to do like DJ workouts. And you're like, no, bro, you just don't get it. And I was like, okay, cool. Just let me know when you have a video up and I'll check it out.
Bro, can you imagine Santi's face on the other side of the screen? Like, he's like, what the fuck's this guy doing? And just like throws
He didn't text
his
me
phone.
back for like 2 days. He was just, Kevin is so fucking stupid. Like,
Yes.
but,
Bro,
all right,
fucking Kevin's over here thinking you guys are going to join a fucking Planet Fitness.
yeah, we're just
Like, give
going to
him the
go,
workout
plan. Just incline press, baby, you know.
Holy shit.
So I've been told, I've heard you described as like the best scratcher by some people that are very good scratchers. Demand being one of them.
Yeah.
And then you go and you get all humble and you roll your eyes and shit like that. And
Yeah, I mean, I could give you a counter argument for that. I mean, I feel like my biggest problem as a DJ is, which has stopped me from making content for the longest, like, is that I compare myself to like the best people. Like we just seen Crazy and AC, like A-Track, Four Color Zach, Jay Espinosa, Dopez. If you guys don't follow Dopez, probably the best cutter right now. But there's just so many people. Like I feel like I don't know how to do. Like there's so many scratches that I literally don't know how to do. That I just feel like it just feels weird for me to be like, yeah, I'm the best. Like yeah, no doubt. It's like I'm still learning how to play fucking Barbie girl in a cool way. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I care about.
see, that's so cool. And so like your humility is definitely one of your biggest assets, in my opinion. But
like
also like
creators are also the hardest on themselves. Like, you know, if you're a musician or an actor or a DJ or a, you know, or whatever you're doing, you know, with creativity, it's not like you're going in a cubicle and you type in your password and you just fucking make Excel sheets for, I don't know. I've never had a cubicle job, so I don't know what they do in there, but like, you know, like it's not like we don't have this mundane job where it's like, all right, well, as long as I, you know, hit submit on the Excel sheet, you know, they pay me, right? For us, it's like, yeah, I know I'm getting paid, but I also want to like next year see my videos and be like, oh my God, like I'm, you know, 365 days better than I was the year before. And I think creators like yourself, Santi and Spinelli and, you know, all of us, we're all just, which is, I feel like good in a way, but then it also can be like toxic for like your mental health where you're like,
oh, nice.
You're watching like these guys, you're like, well, I fucking suck. Like, I don't know how to scratch. And like, Santi, I've watched your videos on Instagram and stuff, and I love that you're putting out more content now. And I do like the way that you're a very great teacher. Like you can ask Kevin, and you've listened to this podcast. Like I get all over the place sometimes. Like it's like this box just explodes with all these ideas, and I don't know like how
I
to
got to
put
reel
them
him back. Like that's
Right.
me now, you know,
100%.
I'm the reeler back.
You do a great job of like, here's step one, do step one. Here's step two, do step two. And so like, you know, I think you should give yourself a lot of credit for that because anyone can get their fucking phone out and record, you know, themselves on camera. But to be able to put the content out there to people and then be able to comprehend it and also understand, oh, he's going through the steps very simply with me. I think you need to give yourself a ton of credit for that.
Yeah, bro. Imagine Nick trying to teach people how to scratch. I love Nick, but he's the worst fucking teacher of anything just about ever. You know? Because he's sort of that, like, scatterbrain shit. Shorty could probably never teach shit just because he's ready to go on to the next thing. It all has to do with, like, the way that you learn and the way that you are able to deliver information, you know? And I think that your humility is what makes you a good teacher. I think that's one thing that anybody that's teaching, you need to have an insane amount of patience. With you making videos that teach, you can feel a little bit of that patience and also that openness to, like, if somebody comes to you, as long as they're not asking like a stupid question, you know, like, hey, can I just come over your house and just watch you do this? It's like, yo, there's a video right there. Like, don't ask stupid questions. You know, but if it had like some,
I can't go to Santi's house. I mean, I'm not.
Shit, I mean, whatever.
My
you
family
guys
lives
wanna
like
do.
right up the road from Vineland. I can,
really?
I can scoot down.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Just go start knocking on doors, and if you hear wiggy, 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 then you're in the right place, right?
Old 80-year-old lady like opens up the door. Hey, are you a DJ? Is Santi in there? Can I come in?
Bro, imagine she's like got headphones wrapped around her neck, though. You know, like you're just like, shit. Okay, cool. This old lady slaps. Santi, like with scratching, if you could give somebody like just a blanket piece of advice.
A blanket piece of advice for starting to scratch or like getting to be good at scratching?
Yes. Sure.
The blanket. I mean, all right. So the number one blanket piece of advice that
I want to get you to go off, bro. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Oh,
like,
I could go off. I just want to make sure. Like, I mean, I just like. Let me just. I'm not even gonna get. All right. Let me just. So, like, for blanket statement, because I could get. I don't want to get like into super like emotional feeling type shit. Let's just get into the scratching shit. Blanket statement. I think that everybody has to understand. I went through it. Nick went through it. Your favorite DJ went through it. You're going to be garbage for a very long time. And very long is, and that very long time is like a variable depending on how much time you put into it. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you want to be good at scratching by next year, like if you want to start scratching out like on a consistent basis by next year, you can definitely do that. But you got to practice at least 30 minutes a day, in my opinion. And like when I talk about practice, that doesn't mean like a lot of people. I think what I want to start doing with the Fader Fitness shit, if you want to get into that later, is to show people ways to practice that aren't like so mundane. Because a lot of people think you just sit there and you have to fucking burn your arms out for an hour doing one scratch, and it's like if you keep doing something wrong over an hour, you're just gonna like reinforce bad habits. It's not really gonna help you.
Nice.
So I just think really accepting being garbage is the number one key that's gonna take. But that's like for everything. Like you want to be you want to get into archery. You want to I want to get into like fucking I want to learn how to shoot a gun. Like New Jersey just got legalization of concealed carry. Like I want to learn how to do that shit. Like I'm gonna be garbage at that until wow, okay, I see you. Why is it behind you just regular? Like is SpongeBob gonna come behind you?
Oh shit. I know it's right there. Like, oh my god.
Wait, what? I missed
That's
it.
awkward
Wait,
as
wait,
fuck. It's actually it's a fake Glock, but I do have my real gun sitting down here too.
Wow.
So yeah, but he was just talking about it.
But
yeah. Not trying to make it a thing.
More of the story is you got anything you want to do. You know, you want to be like I over pandemic I got super into cooking. Like I was terrible, and now I'm pretty good at cooking. You know what I'm saying? Like it's shit like that.
Bro, especially cooking, I feel like is just, it has nothing to do with actually like flavors or this or that. It's like, yo, you just got a timing of everything. Like to be the best cook is to be able to finish a great meal in like 45 minutes, in my opinion. And it's all like time management in the kitchen, you know? Like Teddy and I work a lot together. You do like Dinnerly or what are the fucking
Hello
Freshly?
Hello Fresh.
Hello Fresh, yeah, that type of shit. So, you know, they give you like all the instructions and everything. And like her and I have gotten really good at like splitting up the responsibilities of, you know, she does this thing. I always cut the onions because I don't know. Am I the only person in the world that doesn't cry when they cut an onion?
You don't cry at all?
Not at all.
Well, it's because you have no heart and no soul.
That's what it is.
Yeah. You just
fuck it. I don't care.
You have no emotions.
Sick. Going back to the practicing thing that you were saying, Santi, I've like anytime that you are starting something new, I feel like people are way more susceptible to admit that they're bad at something, you know? So like if you pick up something today, like if you start gardening, you're gonna be like, oh, well, I suck at gardening because I just started. So it's okay. And it's like the more time that you put in, the less okay you are with being garbage. So I think you hit like that midpoint, that like that frustration, that friction point where you've been getting good and then you kind of plateau and you have to try like 10 times harder. But sometimes it pays to step away and learn it in a different way, which it sounds like is what you're trying to do. So you said you were trying to make like the practicing entertaining in a different way.
I still practice 30 minutes a day. So like I've come up with like what I call like drills and routines essentially. So like the reason why I called it Fader Fitness was because it's essentially like what I want to create is a workout plan for DJs, but like not like for you to get jacked, Kevin. It's like for people to get.
Kevin was the only DJ in the entire earth that like understood it the way he did. Everyone else was like, "Oh yeah, I got that Fader
Fitness. It makes sense.
Got that,
Right.
I'm
over here thinking it's a leg day. Like,
we couldn't leg day jokes.
Oh my god!
Don't skip leg day, bro.
Can't skip leg days.
No,
but yeah, with the Fader Fitness shit, what I eventually want to do, like, I want to bring it to I would like to get into like I want to have a course that people can take or they can follow along, but I also want to get into like DJ personal training and stuff like that. Just it's really like a selfish thing. I'm just tired of going out. Like the whole thing, like that's why I always feel weird like taking compliments for like the scratch tutorials and shit, because this is all a selfish endeavor. This is just me tired of going out and hearing terrible DJs, and it's just like, can you just mix the song right? Like you don't even have to scratch at all. Just can you just mix it right at least?
Right.
And it just ruins my experience because like I want to go out to like see a club and see how like the people are reacting to this music, and it's like, well, I'm not really getting true reactions because you're not really playing this correctly. Like it's just like it just doesn't really make sense to me. So it's really more of a selfish endeavor.
No, bro, you would be doing everyone a service if you do that. Like, I don't think I've told this story on the podcast, but I attended all of 3 weddings last year, I think, if even that many. There was one towards the end of the year that was out of the area. It was up more towards home for me, like a family friend wedding. And I saw the DJ, and I happened to sort of just like make my way up there. You know, he was like in sort of a crow's nest, but there was like a cocktail area up there. I saw he had a Rain 1. So I was like, okay, cool. So this guy apparently makes enough money to be able to afford that. So this is already sort of like a good sign. I'm not a fan of it, but that's fine. I start talking to him a little bit. I was like, hey, yeah, I'm super curious about you guys. Like, you know, I DJ'd a little bit south in Pennsylvania. And he was like, oh, yeah, man, you know, all this stuff. Then he name drops Nick Spinelli, right? He's like, I watch all his videos. I love his shit. And I don't even say like, oh, I've known him for a while. You know, I'm just like, oh, bro, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, he comes out with great shit. It's like you watch his stuff all the time. Like you listen to those videos and all the advice he gives. He says yes. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Then that means I've just vetted this guy. He's got to be at least
Decent.
How was he?
Asinine. Bro was fucking trash.
Give us an example. Okay, you say trash, but give us an example of like something he did where you're like, what the fuck?
Echo out mid-verse, dropping into another song, like just dunk, 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 dunk. You know, like verse, bro, verse. Bridge outs, just playing stuff out way too fucking long. You just hear fucking clomping of beats, you know, shoes in a dryer, yeah. You know, and it's just, and Teddy knows me at weddings, like, I literally, and Santi, you're probably the same way. Shorty, I pray to God you're the same way too. Like when someone does that, you like stutter step, and you're just like, I can't find it again. Like I'm freaking the fuck out, and then I get pissed, and then I drink my face away. And so he does the wedding, and then he also does an after party, and I'm literally just sitting down in this fucking after party, just like I can't get enough drinks. I happened to be like juuling at the time. And then so I'm just sitting there ripping my jewel. And then a guy comes up and says, you can't do that here. I'm like, Teddy, we're getting the fuck out of here. We're done. We're done. If I can't hear good music, I can't fucking smoke in here. And I don't want to drink anymore because I'm just getting cranky. Like I'm out.
So he's watching the videos for like, because again, like I've, you know, talking about Nick and Santi, you and Nick work together. But I mean, Nick's been hustling at this like let me help other DJs game for a long time. If you hit that load more on his YouTube and go all the way back to the beginning, I mean, the videos are not the $8,000 camera quality. Like he wanted to get the shit out there, right? So like for me, I will watch a Nick or a Jay and I or Demand scratching on Twitch or Kevin, DJing like, and I'm like taking mental notes, like Kevin's done Twitch mixes where we both have mixed the same song together, and I listen to it like because we both I have an S11 now and Reigns. So like I listen to Kevin like what he's using to like echo out and when he's using it to echo and when he's not. And like I don't know, my brain works in the sense of like, oh, I could do that. Like I could use that effect instead of that because that's going to sound differently and that's going to work better. And it goes back to that we were talking about like just if you're a true I don't want to say content creator, but if you're just a person that's in movies or TV or whatever, like DJs, like you're always constantly reevaluating. This guy that Kevin almost like shoved his jewel down the guy's throat. I think he just watches Nick is like, Nick scratches, but there's no like lesson, right? So Nick did the mix on Twitch or TikTok where, and again, I use the scooter mix because I can't scratch. I suck, right? I suck at scratching. Santi. Wholeheartedly, Kevin's seen it. It's terrible.
There's no need to scratch.
But Nick did this out of Party in the USA into Britney. And he was scratching out of like Party in the USA. And I was like, fuck, like in my mind, I'm like, fuck, I wish I could scratch. Because again, it was at a wedding. It wasn't overbearing. It was just it made the transition sound that more cool. This guy, again, the wedding was just like, to me, it sounds like he's just simply watching the videos and not taking any, he's not taking it in his own sense and going, oh, well, let me, like, okay, you see him on TikTok, right? Cool, he mixes. The dude's got his fucking, all his links on the TikTok, right? Go research the kid. Go to his YouTube channel. Like, the dude does a fucking hour show every day. Like, that's very well put together and is full of advice. So, to the guy that has the Rain 1 and was scratching horribly, go.
He probably has a Rev 7 now, because he probably just throws money at gear thinking it's going to make him better.
Well, and that's the thing, too. Like, you went up thinking, like, oh, he's got this, $2,000 machine. And he probably thinks, oh, I have this $2,000 machine. It's going to do everything for me and I'll be fine, right? A lot of DJs probably think that way.
A lot of photographers think that way. Videographers think that. Dude, if photographers, that's the one thing they're so guilty of, is just throwing money at stuff and thinking it's going to make them better. Like, honestly, get a fucking UV filter before you buy a fucking R5. Right. Like, just learn what you don't know. Like, that's so. Santi, you said something about you were talking about bad habits or something like that a little bit ago, and someone said something when I was like 17 or 18. And they said, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So, like, you need to practice perfectly. Like, just going out and shooting hoops, like, you could just sit there and you could do soccer throw-ins all day. And you could be making baskets. But that doesn't make you good at ball.
Michael Jordan isn't, like, throwing the ball like this, right?
Yeah. You can't. Michael Jordan can't jump from the free throw line because he can spin the ball on his finger. Like, showmanship is sick, but the Harlem Globetrotters are not in the NBA.
This is true. This is facts.
True. So this is very true.
Shout
they
out
put
to
on
my
a hell
boys
of a
on the
show, though. They
Globetrotters.
put on a hell of a show.
They do. They put on a hell of a show. And that's cool if that's what you're going for,
Funny story about the whole Harlem Globetrotters real quick. They came to our arena here in town, in Greenville, and I took all my brother's family, his kids, and they do this thing where they play the Lion King, the Circle of Life or whatever, and they grabbed my son's my brother's 1-year-old son and held him up they took him out into the basketball court and held him up, literally just walked over to the crowd, grabs the baby and just walks out into the basketball court, holding
pre-COVID,
the child
clearly.
Yeah, no, I think it was 2020. It was late 2020.
Oh, well, you're
Bro, it's South Carolina.
South Carolina. You guys don't give a fuck.
Santi, we were done COVID in about 6 hours. We're like, I wish Jersey was
It's
time to
let
gather.
alligators babysit your kids and shit.
What?
I don't know. Santi, did you have a good time at the expo? There we go.
I don't know. I think that.
Oh man, let's hear
I
it.
don't know. I'm not a fan of the expo. At least I gotta get more. That's the only expo I've been to. Like I gotta go to NAMM to really get like like a gauge to see what these other shows are doing. But for me, like what bothers me about the AC Expo is just it doesn't seem like the people that are running it are like in tune with the culture like at all. Like I feel like the whole EDM phase, like especially like trance, the fact that it was trance night the first night until 4 a.m, it just seems completely out of touch with like the people who were there. And like they're able to get away with it because a lot of the DJs, like especially like in the wedding industry, like sometimes like I feel like wedding DJs don't go out to clubs, like they're not seeing what's happening, so they'll go and be like, oh, this must be what's still in the clubs, and they were raging.
Must be it.
You know what I'm saying? They're raging to trance music. They did glow fingers,
Right.
all the nine. You know what I'm saying? Like
Ecstasy, whole thing.
and it's just like, man, I'm standing there. We left like what was it, 4 songs in? Like I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I think we left before midnight.
bro,
Like, it was like 12:30. We were all just standing there like, all right, well, I guess we're going to go this way. You guys want to go that way? And then you go that way? Cool. We'll see you tomorrow. Literally, that's like how it went down on Monday. You know?
so like.
Bro, we got to a bar right after that, and another couple came up, and they weren't DJs, and they were just like, man, they just fucking sucked. They were doing some trance bullshit, and Teddy and I turned, and we were like, oh, yeah, we would love to hear your opinions all about that.
Nobody
Like,
wants that.
We would love more info on that.
Nobody wants that,
Throw more
especially
shade.
like on a Monday night. Like on a Monday night, like that's literally traditional industry night. Like you're supposed to go deeper into the cuts because that's like when the bottle service girls from the weekend, like that's their first day off. Like that's when, like I think a lot of DJs don't think about the industry too. Like a lot of DJs, I think they base success on like, did I get a picture with the crowd going crazy? And it's like the crowd might have went crazy, but like, did they go buy drinks? Like, how did the bar do?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
business.
there's a lot of things that really matter that I think like DJs like a lot of forget about, and I think it sucks. But like in terms of the expo,
Have you? Oh, go
sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, in terms of the expo, I don't know. The exhibits are cool. I think the main stage should be like truly a main stage. Like when they're doing those performances in the middle of the expo, like I didn't even know people were performing, and like some of those performers, like DJ Q from is it St. Lucia or Barbados? I don't know. He's a very good DJ. And he like never gets to play in the States. He was just hyped to play like on an S11 and shit like that. Like it takes him like 7 months. He was telling me to get any piece of gear shipped to him. So he's like fucking ecstatic. He's like the only I'm so sick I can't remember what island he's from, but he's like the DJ of that island. And like that's what I like about the expo. Like the expo brings people from like literally across the world just about one fucking topic.
So is there an expo? Is there a conference you would want to go to that you haven't gone to yet? I have one in mind. I just want to know what yours is.
I would love to. I'm so sad I missed the one that was just in Arizona. It was
Beyond the Music
retreat. That seemed really fucking dope. NAMM, but I know NAMM isn't technically a DJ conference. It's more like a tech conference. But I'm fucking a nerd. I would love to see some shit like that. And I've heard Marquis in Shambles, right? Is that one?
That's the Chicago one, yeah.
I heard that's in Shambles. So yeah, probably not. I mean, I don't really know too much about it. I'm not really. I'm really more into like going to clubs. I want to see more club DJs. I feel like that's where I learn more.
Yeah,
That's definitely where I'm trying to get right now too. You know, just like honestly, I think it's the Road podcast that's done it to me. It's just like if you're not out supporting people, how can you expect support?
Yeah.
You know, like if you're not out there like putting yourself out as a consumer, as a absorber,
right.
You know, we talk about the Rain One guy, poor fucking guy. Like he clearly doesn't get out to absorb anything, to hear like you don't know you're doing something wrong until you hear something done right, you know, and you're like, oh, that sounds way better than the way I do it. You know, like on my Twitch this past week, I did something that AM does, but I did it in reverse order because I was like, well, I'm not trying to steal AM's thing, you know, like I'm not trying. I could do it verbatim, basically. Yeah. You know, but I'm not going to do that. I can't even fucking remember what 3 songs it was, but he called me out on it, and I was like, I don't feel bad about doing it in reverse order. You know, the songs go well together, but obviously AM found the perfect way to put those 3 songs in that order. You know.
Shorty, do you feel the same way about tribute mixes? Would you never do a tribute mix of like? Would you ever copy somebody else's mix?
So here's the thing, like, so I was born in New Jersey, but I grew up in South Carolina, so it's a little different here. Where, and again, it's one of those things where you can't really help, where you grew up because your parents moved, and that's just that. But then I look back and I'm like, man, I kind of wish I was, grew up there, because the music scene, I feel like there's so many, like down here, it's dirty South and hip hop and country. Like that's it. Like if you
Such a weird
you're doing a wedding,
combination.
you're playing country, you're playing fucking Ludacris or anything from Atlanta, right? We're that close to
That's a
Atlanta.
vibe.
But with like New Jersey, or, New York and Philly, like there's 7 million different genres you can play and have fun with. And I think the other thing too is like with DJ AM being up there, this is going to sound embarrassing. I'll just say it though. I didn't know about DJ AM until I saw him on Entourage on HBO.
Whoa.
Like I had no clue. Like, I just remember he was going to get the sneakers with Turtle, or he was trying to get the sneakers before Turtle in the show. So then obviously, like, you see DJ AM on the license plate. But even then, I'm old, so like Google was barely a thing. Instagram wasn't a thing. Facebook wasn't a thing. So it was like, how do you really find him? Like, I think it's awesome today that kids have access to that stuff where they can go to YouTube and search DJ AM, right? And just, you can listen to, I'm sure there's thousands of mixes of his out there, everywhere. But, for me, like, Demand always tells the stories about him going to AC and just watching AM. Like, literally, he said he would stand, like, I guess above the booth and watch DJ AM mix. And I always wish I was exposed to that. Because, again, I can't scratch. Kevin can tell you he saw it on FaceTime. It's true.
What do you mean, like, you can't scratch? Like, what does that mean?
Kevin, what do I mean?
No, I'm not answering this for you. Fuck that.
It's
Bro, he does this, Santi. He's like, well, I don't want to get on Twitch because I can't scratch.
No.
And I'm like, that's not a barrier of entry.
I haven't said that at all about Twitch.
You literally have said those
that
exact words, Shorty, many, many times.
Santi, I may have been drunk when I said that, so it doesn't count.
Doesn't mean he didn't say it. But I don't know what you mean you can't scratch, dude.
I mean, I just like
It means like your hands aren't doing what your mind is saying.
Right. So, what's funny is like Kevin he did do this like FaceTime tutorial with me and Teddy. We were on at the same time. And
Trying to teach him how the crossfader helps.
Right. That's a good point. So I was like, oh, wow, like the crossfader does a lot more than I really have realized that it's doing. A lot of people like see a DJ scratch. So if you're not a DJ and you see a DJ scratch, every person just does this number, right? They all do the, with their hand. But they don't really realize that like that fader is doing a lot of the work to make the certain sounds happen. And I think that, like you said, if I wanted to get good at it, I can practice every day. And I'm sure I could get there. I also own a business, so there's 9 million other things I'm doing during the day. So it's good.
No, you just made an excuse.
I did. Well, it's not an excuse. I mean, I do have 9 million things I have to do. I could take time every day, like in the evening before I leave the office. I could take time to, find 30 minutes and do that. So I'm not making the excuse that, I'll never do it, but I guess my brain and my hands aren't just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not
yet.
Not yet. I would say though, so like when I started making the tutorials, I kind of nerded out, and I ended up diving down like an educational rabbit hole of what it really takes to learn a new thing. You really, like, if you want to learn something, like I said, it's just about like how quick you want to learn it. Like the recommended, the minimum amount of an activity per day for it to stick and make connections, like literally brain fucking connections, is 5 minutes.
Right.
You just got to give 5 minutes a day, and it'll change your life if you want to. But it also has to be paired like with a desire. You're not going to learn anything that you don't want to learn. Like your mind has to be primed for it.
Right. To answer your question that you asked, like, my thoughts on like DJs using, songs like DJ AM's kind of sets.
Right.
Demand has the issue with this where he doesn't think that you should do it. And again, I think everybody's entitled to their opinion. I don't see the big deal. It would be like, Santi, if you are an amazing singer and you covered a Bruno Mars song or something, like it's, you're showing tribute to that person because you care so much for that. So I think like whatever Kevin did on Twitch, even if he did it in the order where DJ AM did, it's not that big of a deal. I think that it's kind of like a nod to DJ AM, and also
I'm cool with a nod.
AM,
I'm very cool with a nod, but like blatantly plagiarizing is a whole nother thing.
But it's not your music though. It's not your. You didn't write the 3 songs.
No,
you didn't sing the 3 songs. So like that's where I have an issue with the DJ world sometimes, where like they get very overprotective of things that they really should not be, because it's at the end of the day it's. Again, if you're a great singer and you wanted to cover a song, and there are artists that do that all the time on Twitch and TikTok and Instagram, and artists will go into the comments and be like, oh my God, that's the greatest, you're awesome, I love you. So, and I think that if AM, sadly obviously died, and it's a tragedy, but I think if he were alive today and someone did that, we're in the world of social media today, I think that, there, instead of trash talking, I think you would be honored that someone would take that much time to learn what he did and mimic it. Now, here's where I would say, whereas when you're going to cover a song, like a person on Instagram, they're giving credit in the comments. I love Ariana Grande. Here's my cover of them. So they're giving credit to that. I think you should do the same.
Yeah.
Like Kevin, when you did the mix, if you did it in the way, even if you got on the mic, you said, hey, a little nod to DJ AM there. Like you're giving the.
That's
the
why I'm
there.
totally cool with a nod. But Santi, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it too.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say kind of like the same thing with like what Shorty was just saying at the end there, where it's like if I were to cover a Bruno Mars song and I just started singing Treasure, everybody knows like that's Bruno's song. You know what I'm saying?
Treasure?
If you did AM's mix, like if you did like his the Sweet Home Alabama into everybody knows that fucking mix. I can't even think of the other song right now. But if you did essentially any DJ AM mix and you did it in public, like nobody's gonna know that you didn't come, like that's not your mix, because like DJs aren't like, we're not mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Last fucking mainstream DJ was AM. So I don't know. It's a tough.
Why is that? Why do you think the AM blew up as big as he did, and he was in movies and TV? But I'm asking, but I have a follow-up question. Like, why hasn't there been someone else? Like, I mean, there's Tiesto and there's all these guys, but I don't know. I feel like AM. Once I started digging deeper into him, and I'm like, this guy's on a fucking TV show. Like, what? This guy's on another level, right? So, like, what made him different from, from other mainstream guys like Tiesto or other DJs today?
I mean, in my opinion, it's just because he kind of like ushered in the like when he would like at his like, if you look up, like there was a party in LA called Banana Split where essentially like all he did was do a whole lot of mashups, which kind of like brought wave to the open format like genre, which is like wasn't a thing before. Like there weren't DJs that were playing Journey and Chingy in the same night. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. So for him to be able to essentially bring in LA as well, where he's like surrounded by celebrities, where celebrities still went to clubs just because like that's what you did. And he's playing in a way that nobody else plays, like, period. So it kind of felt that exclusive thing. It kind of like he got propelled into doing like a lot of more higher end things like celebrity parties and stuff like that. Like you could actually listen to his Christina Aguilera cocktail hour that he did at Christina Aguilera's wedding, which is a great cocktail mix. It starts with Sweet Thing by Rufus. But my bad, I'm nerding out. But my opinion is that like there's not going to be
no, we want you to.
There's not going to be another revolutionary DJ like that overtakes a country or nation unless it's open format. Because the reason why Tiesto is so huge and all of that is because they're big in a genre. So like they're able to tour and they're able to pack an arena because people already know what to expect. Whereas like AM is known for his like you go there and you have no idea what to expect. Like his whole thing, like I can't remember the name of the documentary, but they were talking about how like people by the end of the night when DJ AM was playing, was people would stop dancing and they would turn around and just watch AM play the most ridiculous shit and do the most ridiculous cuts. Like it's going to take somebody, and even like you could argue like, well, there's already open format DJs that are technically better now because of technology than AM, like A-Track, Craze, Four Color Zach, but they're not chasing that. Like when AM created Dexstar and now started putting on other DJs, and then now he was creating like, oh, you want to book me? Well, if you want to book AM, well, you got to book Spider, you got to book these three people before me. And then like, so he kind of created a network that infiltrated the entire DJ market that completely spread. Everybody wanted to be in Deckstar. So like, there's not like that leader of the community for DJs at all.
The documentary is called As I Am,
Yes.
The Life and Times of DJ.
Great documentary. If anybody hasn't seen that.
I love that you're geeking out. We want you to nerd out.
I just have a problem where like,
again,
especially like with DJ, like I only know how to do 3 things. I know how to DJ, I know how to go work out, and I know how to like eat food. That's all I know how to do. So like, if you get me on any of those 3, like I can just ramble for 7 hours accidentally.
Love
so
it.
Kevin, the Fader Fitness, the second one, you know, because he knows how to work out.
Work
So
out,
he's-
baby.
Yeah,
I work
100%.
out. Yeah. No. Well,
Did the you know, Nick Spinelli's videos that you've been kind of filming for him, and then him posting, and now you're kind of more active on social media now and doing your kind of Fader Fitness and your tutorials. Was that an influence from him? Like you were like, you know, if he can do this, like I can too. And again, for those that like don't know the Nick 7 years ago, like he has been at this a very, very long time. So I think that we should all give a nod to him, that because I think people see like, oh, he's got 500,000 followers, and he like they think it just happened overnight. And so with you, like, I think also the advice too is like, I want you to keep doing that, because again, we share your videos on our Instagram. I love sharing that kind of stuff because you are a talent and you're also very great at education and educating people. But it doesn't come overnight. You know, this podcast is a dumb podcast we do. We've got, you know, a couple people that listen, but who knows what's going to happen in 5 years, right? If we keep hustling at it. So is that something where you're going to take it more, you know, are you just going to do some social media stuff and then Patreon? Like, what's kind of the future for your education stuff for the Fader Fitness?
I want to continue making these reels until I pretty much exhaust everything that I know on like the surface level. So like, I still haven't covered like every scratch that I know yet, or even like how to reverb out of songs, or I haven't touched like crate organization, or so I kind of want to make reels on that first, but then I also want to start recording the videos for like, I want to release like essentially a course that people can take, and you would follow that course for like people, like if they just got a controller day one, all the way into like how to baby scratch until like, you know, and then you get into, there'll be an advanced section where it'll be like how to chirp, but it's not going to be like how to chirp. It'll be like how to chirp, and like how to chirp and then drop stuff on the one, how to chirp and then mix stuff in. Like it'll be like break it down like in more in-depth stuff, and then off of that I want to branch off, or maybe simultaneously, into doing like personal training for DJs that I feel like you'd have to like, I've already thought about it, like what you would have to do, or what I want to do for like personal training shit is you'd have to upload a mix so I know that you kind of have an idea of what you're doing. I want you to be at like the 70% level of like dedication, and then like I'm going to provide that last 30%. But like what I don't want to do is get into DJs that like just bought a controller. Like that's what those courses are going to be for. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to like
the guy at the wedding, Kevin, the guy that just bought the Rain one yesterday and then showed up to the wedding and, you know, DJ'd Sweet Home Alabama into I don't know, Cardi B or whatever terribly.
I mean, I would have been there for that. If he did it right, I would have been all there for that. You know, like what do we? You know, everybody says like the biggest feeling of power is knowing what song is coming in before, you know, like the first lyric drops, right? Yeah. People love to do that 100%. Shit, and I know like there's always been like the giveth and taketh away thing. So I love just like throwing in a beat over top of it, and then people are ready for it to drop, and then pulling that back away. Like that's such a fun feeling, you know. Teasing, right? You tease a beat. Now, Santi, you're gonna fucking crush this stuff, and it's great, dude. It's great.
By the way, Santi, I saw you at the expo. You were standing at the Ragosa when they were.
Oh, my mouth
live.
was on the floor,
and yeah. So and they're. I mean, man, they're on a whole nother. They're on a whole nother universe. Like with what.
Wait. You were at the Ragosa booth. You saw me stay. You didn't come. Like you did not come up and.
Hey, well, I'm explaining. So
remember when I came up and I talked to you, Santi, and then we just like stood there for a second, and then I was like, "Yo, I'm just gonna go hang with my girl because I feel like I left her alone, and I'm just like hanging with Santi right now." I was like, "Yo, I got to go be a boy," you know.
I was the girl.
Shorty was the girl.
Oh my god,
it was not Teddy. It was me. Hang on, I'm gonna explain myself. So like, I saw you, And Kevin comes back over, and I looked. I was like, "Yo, is that Santi?" He's like, "Yeah." So I was like, "Oh shit, I want to walk over and see what's up." And then I was watching the rest of the Ragosa stuff, and I started to walk over, and you and Nick walked away, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to be like that awkward guy taps him on the back of the shoulders like you're walking away." So I was like, and then I was like my anxiety just started to get me. I was like, and then I just collapsed in the floor, and then Kevin had to pick me up. It was the whole thing. So I didn't see you. I didn't want to, tackle you from behind and you wonder what the fuck was going on. Because I was doing my fader fitness. I was working out, so I was gonna try to grapple.
He was
you
getting
to
a
the floor.
fader massage at the time or something like that.
So they did have a massage.
They did have a massage.
They did?
Yeah.
I've never had a pro massage ever. Never had a professional.
Yeah, it was that
massage in my life.
CBD booth or whatever too. I think they would use CBD oils and shit and give you a massage.
see that.
Bro, it was $1 a minute though or something like that. And I was like, man, I'm trying to lose my money in a legitimate Atlantic City way, not from a fucking massage.
Do you think one day they'll have we all smoke, right? We can all kind of admit that, right? So do you think one day they'll have weed lotions? When you get a massage, they just
they already have that.
massage you with weed. Dude,
The
what?
topical
What?
I have
there's
7
weed's not
bottles
legal
in this
here,
house.
so I don't-
Yeah, they have that
Are
now.
you serious?
You can get that
Bro,
over.
you can buy CBD buds off the internet.
Yeah, we have CBD shops here. They sell Delta 8.
Oh, the Delta 8
No, not
Kratom.
Delta 8.
I guess is
not Delta 8, dude. No, not Delta 8. That's Delta 8.
Well,
and
no, I
CBD
know,
are
which
two
is
complete-
not the...
All right, here's part 2 of the podcast. We're going another 60 minutes coaching Shorty through all these fucking cannabinoids and shit.
But they do have THC topical shit. They do have.
I love it, dude.
Okay.
Fire.
One time I put way too
What
much
else,
on my
else do they
forehead
have
and
that I
went to
don't
the
know?
moon.
What else do they have that I don't know?
Olive oil. Real butter.
Butter.
Bro, it's fat soluble, so pretty much anything in that strain you can get to work pretty easily.
They got the what's it called? They have this just a dropper thing where you pull it out the dropper and you can infuse
Tincture.
anything. Yeah, tincture. Yeah, you can put it in your soda, essentially. Do whatever you want with
It's like a soda stream for weed.
you know.
Gosh, man, we're in the wrong industry. We should have gotten into
not too
the
late.
weed, legal weed
Never
industry.
too late, dude.
I mean, it is true. If you want to open a weed store in New Jersey, I don't know. Santi, have you ever been to Vegas? So have you been to
I
Planet
have.
13
it's the
in
iPhone
Vegas?
store, the Apple store of dispensers.
The one with the blimp, right? Is that Planet 13?
Well, it's got the drones that
Yeah,
fly
yeah,
around. But yeah. But there's 150 cash registers, and they're literally they call them what do they
Bud
call
tenders,
them?
yeah.
Bud
Bud
tenders,
tenders.
which is
Yeah.
just fucking amazing. And they're I literally was walking around. I was they have fucking serious. We're in South Carolina. You get your weed from the redneck.
so it's not
that,
legal down there yet.
Lives in a ditch or something. No, it's not gonna be illegal.
I don't think
until
it's
2090.
not even medicinal down there, is it?
No. So it's so
straight
we're
to jail,
struggling
bro.
down
Fucking
here, Santi.
straight to jail.
Yeah. It's still a little different world
Sketchy.
down here. But man, they have loads. That's
Anything you can think
There's
of.
so much stuff.
I think.
I just got to move back. Fuck.
what are you
South
doing?
Carolina. I got to move back.
Sell the company.
I mean, I don't know. I would never recommend anybody to come to Jersey. These taxes are ridiculous.
My aunts. I've told this story before. My aunt, they're retired now, and they were talking about every time I come up, they have a new room done in the house, which means they're gonna sell the house eventually, and it's because their taxes are $7 bazillion a year just to live there, and it's it sucks. By the way, my family is 30 minutes from you exactly. They're in Sewell, Washington Township.
If it ever links up right,
fine.
if I get this party started, you guys got to come out. It's a Wednesday night. It's technically industry night. It's not going to conflict any.
Bro, I don't have a week job. Fuck it, let's go. You're going to be in HQ for Spinelli on the 29th of September?
Is that the headliner or the opener?
Yeah, that's the headliner one.
I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there for the headliner. He's opening a couple weeks before, but I'm not going to be there for that one.
Oh, word. Okay.
What do you guys feel
fuck
like?
it. He's a headliner now. We don't go watch opener shit anymore.
I think the opener shit is way harder. But before we leave the weed shit, what do you guys think about the future of weed lounges for DJs?
Oh, bro, when they were talking about this on road, I was I was literally driving in the rain and I was staring at my radio. I'm so into that shit because I would love. So I don't really like to DJ super baked, I'm like a edible DJ kind of guy. You know, like I can't smoke and then have it hit me and then try to DJ. Like I need to be like, eat it, start DJing, and then have it like carry me through.
I did that once. I had a panic attack. I can't do that. I was like, "Fuck! What's the next song?"
That's the fear of like having it hit me in the face. I feel like I need to like warm into it a little bit. But I do. I love the idea of lounges and DJs and what they said on the Road podcast was like you can imagine people like bouncing around. You know, like going to like a bar spot and getting their drink on for a little bit and then coming back to you. And people could literally they could be eating and they could just spend 4 hours there just chilling through your set, you know?
Yeah. But I think,
and that's sort of where you were talking about. Like,
what type of music are you playing at the weed bar? Give me
that's
some
what
examples.
I think is going to be exciting. Like just to be able to dig into so much more shit. I mean,
so much.
Right.
Wait, what?
I just said so much.
Oh, so much. I thought you said hold on.
Wrapping a cable right now.
So I'm like terrible at like thinking of like recalling songs without my crates right in front of me, but
same.
I'm so terrible at that. But
same. Literally same.
There's just gonna be so like a lot of times like even DJing at a bar, like I feel like it's like DJing at a bar to me is what I've at least I've done it 4 times now, so I'm like fucking new to it, yada yada. But it feels like a 6-hour opener set. So like you have to like have enough music. And if it doesn't pop off, like you can't go too hard. So that's why I said it's like a 6-hour opener set. So like you have to have enough music, whereas like you can create a vibe and get people's shoulder to move, like just get people's shoulders to move, get the foot to tap. But if you're at a weed bar, you can kind of like you could break it down. Like you could go down and play stuff. You can play rock songs in 60 BPM. Like I can't think of one off the top, but like there's just like there's a lot of shit that's just gonna be able to be possible. It's also going to depend on the crowd. Like if it's a group of guys, like I feel like I don't know. Like for that, I'm worried about that. Like if there's a group of guys at a weed bar, it's like what do you? That could mean like you want either Jadakiss or you want like I don't know what else you would want. Like what as a guy, what like. Because I don't know how to play for anything but girls. So, like, that's the only sticky situation. Is like, are the girls going to, like, be accepting of that? And I think they might because, like, guys aren't going to be so frisky and touchy at the weed bars. You know what I'm saying? The liquor.
All guys at the bar and Santi just goes to his Nickelback folder. All right, let's see what happens.
Straight from the one.
Look at this photograph, baby.
I honestly like Nickelback.
Do we hate? Are we all on the train? Are we all on the train that we hate
Negative.
Nickelback? Are we all? Do we all?
I actually like Nickelback.
No?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, listen, everyone knows like Photograph, which is like the sad, sappy, like, you know, like get a rope and find a fan type of song, right? Like, but like they did have like the, you know, I like your pants around your ankles or whatever the fuck song that was. There was like that hardcore just.
Let me pull the Nickelback.
I fucking
He's grabbing his laptop, isn't he?
No, I would if you want.
He's got his Nickelback.
I have a Nickelback playlist, clearly. Fuck.
Rock.
How You Remind Me? Banger.
Yeah. I like your pants around your feet, and I like the dirt that's on your knees, and I like the way you sing. Please, it's all redneck rock to me. I don't know.
I think you're tired of it because you're in South Carolina. I mean, you might be just over.
Yeah, I think
I just got to play.
And I haven't heard anybody talk about Nickelback in a long time, so I feel like I'm okay with it. I also just love that one video where he goes, "Look at this graph," and it's him holding a graph instead of the photo.
Dude, on Vine, yeah, on Vine.
Look at this graph.
And like they drag out the other, like, look at this graph.
And he's just like staring at the camera, bro. It's so funny. I'll put it in here.
That's amazing.
It'll be.
So the reason why I bring this up, Nickelback up, is because the other day they posted something on their Facebook page that's kind of cryptic, and it has like, it says Nickelback, and then it has like the words blurred out at the bottom, and there's like this quick song like instrumental, and then that's it. And then it just said like coming Thursday, August. What is today? It says like coming Thursday, August 25th, and that's it. So my thought is that Nickelback is coming out with more crappy music,
And it
for us to
sounds
listen to.
pretty heavy, is what the news article says. Nickelback is teasing new music, and it sounds pretty heavy. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Means that photograph is going to get
Pantera is getting a lot of
BPM.
quotes in the article.
Do you guys want to know my conspiracy theory for music for the 2020s?
Yeah.
I think this is going to
Let's
be the
go.
first decade ever that there's not a sound. Like if you look to the 70s, it was funk. You look to the 80s, it was disco. You look to the 90s, hip hop kind of like took over. 2000s, you know, we had like the pop rock kind of go crazy. 10s, we had EDM go crazy. 20s, I don't think we're going to have any genre, and it's because these fucking DSPs, like anybody can listen to anything anytime, which
I think TikTok ruined it as well, because what's happening is, you know, like these, you know, TikTok now, like you throw a song up on TikTok and somebody, you know, reels or, you know, samples it or whatever and uses it in a video and it goes popular, then your radio station and Spotify immediately just want to throw it up onto a playlist and make it number one. But like the issue is that, you know, there are these one-hit wonders that last 4 weeks and that's it. Whereas like with Ariana Grande, you know, she's on the charts for 15, 16, 17 weeks, you know, at number one. Like it's funny you mention that, man, because I've never really like thought about that in depth, but you do think of like 70s had a sound, 80s had a sound, 90s, you know, even early 90s and late 90s had a different sound. You know, it changed there in that like that 95, 96 range, you know. Even 2000s, like in my high school years, like, man, 2000s had some of the best fucking hip hop, you know, out like from 2000 to like 2009, 10, like, you know, it's just funny. Like I look back and I'm like, because I was in radio at the time. I don't know if the other Santi, we have a game where I say when I used to work in radio, we'd take a drink of whatever. So, you know, I used to work in radio, but I look back and I'm like, fuck, we played Party Like a Rockstar like so much and I got annoyed by it. But then I heard it the other day on like XM. And I was like, "Holy fuck, man! Like this song, like slaps. Like I was all into it, right?
I fucking love that song, dude.
I dropped Nate Nelson and Glenn Roush off. They're here in town. They're from Dallas, Texas, but they're here in Greenville today doing some stuff. And I left and threw it on like the hip hop channel on XM. And T.I.'s "What You Know" came on, bro. My speakers on 50. It was the fucking 10 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, what you know about that? Like just jamming the fuck out.
I know all about her.
But yeah, like the 2020s as of right now, like there's no specific sound. That's an interest. Man, that's fucking
Santi
wild.
dropping
it's
bombs,
sad.
dude.
I think the biggest part of that is just why we're in such a limbo is because like all of our, I think I told you this, Kevin, like all the like the late 2010 era, like all of our artists died. Juice WRLD, XXX, Pop Smoke, Bobby Shmurda was locked up for fucking 4 years and now he's trying to come back and it's not the same anymore. Fucking, I mean, if you want to go,
We lost Mac Miller.
why'd you say that?
Bro, talk about fucking heavy. Like, what? Dude, literally, like, God, he was like, I feel like he would have been Song of the Year contender, you know? Like, right now.
Didn't he just put a new album out.
They
Or
did?
His team put a new album out. Was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, new album. Yeah, it's on Spotify.
It's just,
You know what artists from the 09s to like 2016 I wish would come back
Trinity.
is Rihanna.
yo, that's,
I miss Rihanna. Like think about every song Rihanna had, like even just the hits, what we would play in the club, what we would play at weddings. I mean, the girls went nuts.
disgustingly
for it.
deep.
And I really miss Rihanna. Like Rihanna, if you're watching right now, I know you say you listen to the show sometimes.
Hey, Rick.
Kind of need you to bring back some music for us and put out some bangers. I'll take some Ariana Grande too. I'm
Bro,
not,
what do
she's
you
a
play
dick. Like, she's
that's
an asshole.
Ariana Grande, though?
So, side to
I'm just
side.
saying in
Rain on
general,
Me?
like just like. Actually, it's a good. I play that a good bit. Lady
got it.
Gaga.
Which one
and
is that?
Ariana.
Maybe-
Oh,
Rain on
with
Me. The
Lady
thing is,
Gaga.
it came out. It was released in 2020, so like no clubs
Yeah.
were open, nothing was happening. So I've played it a lot, and I get a really good reaction every time from
gonna write that
females. Every single time.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's definitely been on.
Tell Nick when he mixes. Tell Nick when he mixes that into Lady Gaga, or whatever. Just tag me on TikTok if you would. You know, give me a little credit. Thank you.
I
Appreciate it.
gotta add that to the crew.
Yeah, I just,
You can follow me on Instagram. at Radio Shorty.
I still blame Ariana Grande for Mac Miller dying. So like maybe I'm being selfish by not playing her, but like I have such a.
Well, they
But I guess we could blame Pete, right? You know, we could blame him too. We're getting into the whole thing, guys.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like this
Yeah.
stuff, but like, okay. I don't think Ariana Grande is the reason for Mac Miller dying. Here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you why. I know this. Is that Ariana Grande? Excuse me. Mac Miller was already spiraling out of control well before Ariana Grande. The drugs, the drinking, like there was an issue there. There really was, and I think there's an issue.
You could hear it in
like,
his music. If you didn't hear it, you weren't listening.
The last two
you
albums.
weren't fucking listening if you didn't hear it.
Dude, last two albums, even the ones that came out, like the one came out right before he died and then the one that came out after he died, you can hear like he's on something, right? 100%. Still good music.
It's amazing
I just hate
music,
hearing. And so I have a buddy of mine that a DJ friend of mine that we're both big Mac Miller heads, and so like I listened to the album like right before he died, and I was listening to it. And I texted him like, "Yo, something's up with him, man. Like something's just off." And then literally 2 weeks later, he fucking killed himself. And I think that and again, Ariana Grande I've heard is a jerk. She's an asshole. So I'm not. Sorry, Tony Pre. I'm not a supporter of Ariana, but I don't think he loves her. He loves her. I don't think that we can blame her because I think it was happening well before, well before any of the relationships. So, and I don't think Pete Davidson had really, which by the way, man, I'm a decent looking fellow. I'm a decent looking guy. I'm on Tinder and Bumble. The fuck, Pete Davidson? What's happening? You have like a 12-inch schlong in your pants? What's going on there? I need to know some details. Pete, I know you listen to the show.
He's just funny enough to lock a girl down for, like just under a year. And then that's where he runs out.
Kim Kardashian.
That's when he runs out,
Yeah, Kim.
He's all Swedish, no finish, bro. Like, got to be able to close the door.
Oh, that's a good one. Wow.
That's a hockey line. That's an old hockey line. Yeah, big time. All Swedish, no finish.
Wow.
Santi, you know that Mac Miller called me one time?
Really? What?
True story.
I didn't know this.
So I had a buddy of mine, same guy who, again, we're both Mac Miller guys and love him. And so he was at a party and he pulled one of these, like, I'm just going to walk through the gate where the backstage is and just see if, I get busted. And he didn't. Security guys were like, what's up? How you doing? Like, he walked right back. So there's like, it was like Ariana Grande, Mac Miller, fucking, you name the artist, they're there at this like golf tournament, right? And so he walked up to Mac Miller and was like, yo, can you hang on? I have someone that I want you to talk to. And he calls me. And he's like, Shorty, just listen. And like Mac Miller, and I have it recorded. He was like, and you could hear he's like drunk or high or whatever. But he was like, yo, Shorty, what's up, dog? It's Mac Miller. And then like, that's it. He handed the phone back to Crazy Crane, the DJ. And that was it. And I was like, what? I was like, Crane, what the fuck just happened? Like, what is happening? You gotta what? And he like explained. They went backstage and the whole thing. And then like, I think it was literally probably a year after that. Yeah, that he died.
I blame the drug dealers. The fact there should have been no fentanyl in his drugs. That's Mac Miller. How dare you sell laced drugs to Mac Miller? You know he's gonna take all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It sucks though because it's not just him. You look at like I think of like Amy Winehouse that like I think is a phenomenal talent, right? Phenomenal, and she had an addiction, and it is weird how like kind of closing the show here and how we started in the beginning where like creators are so hard on themselves, and I think like sometimes you get so hard on yourself you find a vice. And you're like, I'll just take this vice for a little bit, and then this vice turns into like something bigger than it is. But then you're like, and also in that space, man, you talk about, the media and the cameras on you and the Instagram and the social media. The second you announce you go to rehab, not even just listeners that listen to your music or watch your shows, but the industry around you almost goes, damaged goods, can't touch that guy, can't touch that girl. Like, so they're scared to go to rehab because they're obviously TMZ is going to leak that story. And so they're stuck in this like wind tunnel of like, well, I know I have a fucking problem. I need to get help, but my people around me say like, no, we can't really risk that for your career. Like, imagine Ariana Grande like comes out and says that she has to go to fucking rehab. Every single person around her would be like, can't really mess with that anymore. I got to go find the next big thing, and they just throw them away like trash, and it sucks.
Some people are not right for the limelight. You know.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough, and I've seen DJs like that, even just wedding and club guys just go down the wrong rabbit hole, and it sucks.
That's the one danger of, I think, social media for DJs right now is if you are trying to go viral, the worst thing that can happen is you go viral. And then all of a sudden you have this like demand that you have to keep up with, and you're not prepared for it at all, which is why the slow grind is great, which is why I don't smoke blunts when I DJ, because then it just goes straight to my head. And then I'm fucking nervous and having panic attacks about the songs and stuff like that. Like, you got to take the edible and ease into it.
I don't agree. I don't think that's easing in. It's more like I'm regular, and then out of nowhere, I'm thinking about donuts. It's just my mind is not.
Oh, bro, now I want a fucking donut. I don't know.
Santi, on the show, we do dad jokes here. And I don't know if you brought your dad jokes to the table today. Kevin usually sometimes brings the heat, but sometimes he sucks at life with these dad jokes. Santi, we rate the dad jokes, so Kevin's going to tell a dad joke, and then we're going to rate it, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Kevin, it is dad jokes here on the Hi Kevin podcast with the Santi show.
And we're here. Yeah. All right. We'll just jump right into it. Why are bacteria so bad at math?
Santi, why are bacteria bad at math? Yeah, I already tell I'm going to hate this one.
I don't know.
Kevin?
Because they multiply by dividing.
That's a terrible
Wow.
one. That was the worst one you could tell. Wait, is this Jen's? Because if so, it's the greatest
No,
one
this
we've
is
ever
not
told.
Jen's. Jen's is great.
Okay,
Jen's
good.
is amazing. We have a submission this week, but I'm saving that for last because, well, apparently I'm bad at telling you.
Santi, your rating, 1 the worst, 10 the best.
I'll give it
Your
a
rating.
3 for, trying to add a little math in there, a little educational
A little intellectual.
effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3 as well. No
See,
rim shot.
I gotta
just
test
3.
the waters every time we have somebody different on. Like, I don't know Santi's joke receiving, like what he likes the best. I don't tell a ton of jokes. Bro, we were laughing about making cat noises after dinner that night. You tried to say something and you went pss, 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 pss.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I just started making cat noises. We were fucking falling on the floor from that shit. So, like, I don't know how jokes are gonna work.
Oh, yeah. I do remember
I did, however, before the podcast, I went out for breakfast, right? I had to get something in my stomach, and I just don't like making food here. So I ate a kid's meal at McDonald's this morning, but, man, his mom was fucking furious.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
What, bro? I made that. I brought that in.
No, I wasn't ready for the punchline, so I had to think about it. It was like a delayed laugh because I was. I'll give it a 6. That's a double. That's double better than the last one.
Let's go.
So the fact that you worked it into the actual conversation, I will also give it a 6. So you're
Nice.
3 and 6 there for both of us. We'll give you a little.
There it is.
There you go.
You got any like punchline fitness, Santi? Something like comedic timing fitness that I
No,
like a class
but I
I can
have. I'm
take?
not gonna lie to you guys.
Maybe.
I have been like fucking like watching hella like comedy tutorials. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I feel like comedy is the only other thing that is exactly like DJing.
Dude,
Oh, when I sit
listened
down,
to
bro-
Bill Burr's podcast, and like that's what I noticed is like just talk like you got to get out and you got to get reps and you got to get beaten down by the crowd and you got to like feed off of the. It's very very similar.
Bro, when Bill Burr was in Philadelphia bashing people in Philadelphia, if you have not, Santi,
I've never
if you've
seen
not
that.
watched that, I'll send you the. Oh my god! I think it was for 13 minutes. Like he had to do this rant, or he had to do his comedy stand up, right? And they started booing him like right off the rip.
No,
And
so
I don't know if you
it
know
was-
who Bill Burr.
It was the person before him that they were ripping on, and he was
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it was
that's it,
it was
yeah.
a big comedy festival. It was like to raise money for something, and like 40 DJs had 15, 30-minute sets. Depending on your level of
Comedians.
For
whatever.
comedians.
DJs.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said DJs.
Of course I did. 40 comedians, and they were doing like little sets, right? The guy before Bill, they just booed him the entire time, or her the entire time. So Bill comes out, flames shooting out of his fucking ears, and he just rips every sports team a new asshole, and he just goes in on like, you guys like worship a fucking bell with a crack in it and all this shit. Dude, he picks every little thing, and he's like, oh, what do I got? 8 minutes left? Perfect. Let's go in on this. And dude,
one of his lines were like, I hope every single one of you jump off the fucking Ben Franklin Bridge tonight. And everyone's like booing him. Like he's. I'll send you the link, Santi. It's fucking hilarious.
Iconic. I'll try and find I'll listen to it and find some of the best lines and see if I can slip it in this. Hopefully, Bill Burr won't get mad.
He watches it. He loves the show. The dad joke number 3. Is this from Jen Nelson?
This one is a submission from Jen Nelson. I laughed, and she was so confident that she just messaged me, "You're welcome." So this is a good one. You guys ready? Okay. It's a Christmas themed joke, but I'm not waiting that long to tell it. Why is Santa's sack so big? Because he only comes once a year.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Right?
That was a Nate Nelson. You should be proud of your wife, my friend. You should be.
You might have should have waited for that. Like if I had the smell of pine a little bit, I think it might have hit. It might have hit a little harder. But just because I'm still smelling tropical candles in the house right now, it didn't match.
If I had a Christmas tree behind me, it would hit harder. Yeah.
Maybe we'll tell the joke in December and Santa will come twice. Sorry, I had to.
Somebody shut this
when
down.
I sit down, ladies and gentlemen, the funniest. Because I'm not a stand-up comedian, get it? I'm a sit-down comedian.
Yeah, when you explain it, it's way funnier.
I don't have the dad jokes prepared. I don't.
You good, man. You literally had said like, I'm more of a on the fly type of guy, but in your pre-interview, but we won't. It's stressful.
You did
telling
ask
jokes,
that in the
bro.
pre-interview.
Nobody's really excited to tell jokes. I'll be honest, because frankly, I'm just not that good at it. So I do get a little scared doing it, but that's with anything.
Santi, where can people find you on the gram, TikTok? And,
it's just Santi on everything. On TikTok, it's justSANTI.tt because somebody fucking took that shit. Yeah, it's pretty much.
We're gonna go hit report so that their account gets blocked.
Yeah, we're gonna go get them taken off.
But
we got this.
Get them taken off.
All the Radio Shorty fam, just go hit report on that. Fucking
yeah, that's pretty much all I do. I do have a website. It's justSANTI.com. I'm gonna try to. What I really want to start doing is I've kind of compiled a pretty decent folder of like DJ edits and stuff like that I want to start like releasing, and things like that.
Word.
I'm trying to figure out what.
Sorry, something just fell over in my office. It was scary.
It was Alex Neppa. He fell over.
Oh yeah, dude. We didn't. Neppa's been quiet. I think he's got the apron on. He's making me lunch or something like that.
Producer of the show here.
Yeah. So it's justSANTI.com.
Yep. It's justSANTI.com for that.
Right.
We'll start posting.
Sweet. That's how I got you the link for this thing. Bookings at itsjustSANTI.com, I think, is the email address to if you want to book him for anything. Right?
I don't know. I don't think I bought that. I should buy that.
Oh shit! No, whatever. Well, I'll put the information on the screen over
Kevin
your face.
Emailed some random person.
No, he got the link clearly.
BookSanti at gmail.com is what it is.
BookSanti at gmail.com. That's what it is. If you want to book the man,
that's probably smart.
Yeah,
hey, that's why I'm here, dude. We're here, just 1% better. That's my 5 minutes of experience for the day.
Wait,
bro, it's been super fun having you on. I know we could literally talk about a million other things for 90 minutes.
Point? Just like anybody that wants to make content. This is my biggest thing. Like I do not follow people back for when I see their content and it doesn't follow these rules. If anybody that's making content, if it doesn't educate or entertain, it's not good content.
Wait, so why do you follow me then?
I think there's a third. It's educate, entertain, or emotion. Like if you make people really feel something, then there could be a third one.
I wrap that into the entertainment because if you're feeling something, they're entertaining you. But like I'm just tired of the look
Sweet.
At me shit. Like that's like me and Nick's phrase right now. The look at me content where it's just like, look at me. It just doesn't make sense. And to answer your question, Shorty,
Yeah.
I follow you because this podcast is providing an outlet for DJs. So, like, I respect that.
Right. I'm just teasing. I appreciate you following. I appreciate you. We DM back and forth every now and then, so I do appreciate you. Always getting back in the DMs and answering questions that I have and everything. And again, man, like the what you and Nick do together. I think SCE, is, again, I've talked about this before. You guys are like the holy grail of brands, and there are only a few of them out there in the country. You guys are definitely one of them. I think Nick is, and I've said this a billion times on this show, the Nick Spinelli show is a very well put together show. I think he does an amazing job. To do a show solo it takes a lot of fucking chutzpah, as they would say in New Jersey. And so like,
Santi was
dude,
saying that
both
for
of
a
you were
while.
like, whoa, where'd that word come from? Chutzpah. And I have a lot of admiration for Nick, man. I think he does an amazing job. I think he does a phenomenal job. Hopefully, Nick, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on the show because, I'd love to kind of pick your brain about some stuff as well because you do some amazing stuff on social media. You've been doing it for a very long time. And Santi, it's amazing to see what you guys do together. It's just Santi, SANTI. Go follow him. Show him some love. And if you ever need some workout tips, curls and leg presses and all the shit that I don't know about because I don't touch a gym and that shit, don't hit up Santi because that's not what he's about. Kevin.
And if either of you guys, I am going to start a trial period for Fader Fitness. If you guys want to, I feel weird even offering these services because you guys have been obviously DJing longer than me, but,
You need to.
Bro, I have not been DJing longer than you.
Bro.
When we met, I was not DJing.
Oh.
No.
Also, Santi, it doesn't matter how long you've been DJing because, I learn stuff. Like I said earlier in the show, I learn stuff every day. I'm not. I think that's the other thing too. Like, I hate, and we're going this rabbit hole. But I hate.
You're doing it.
I know, but I'm just going real quick. Like, I hate the DJs that are like, I've been DJing 25 years. Well, great.
It
but
doesn't matter.
You can still learn more. Or you've been DJing 25 years and you've been doing it wrong for 25 years. So spend the next 25 years with guys like Santi that can teach you how to do it right. Boom. Show out. Bam.